as someone who has tried to survive, unconditionally loving, unconditionally kind of trying to give, I've suffered a lot, and I try to find my people who I can, date, I can be friends with, people who I can resonate with. But it has been very hard, and I will almost even, sometimes I think about, you know, bad things, because it has been a very lonely and rough, hard, lonely life for me. Even if others don't want to see that part of me, I can't keep trying to hide myself and try to find my people, because ultimately hiding is because of my fear of, because I have trauma, because I have all these situations where they didn't know or believe that I had this pain. But now I choose to be myself, where I try to be someone, and I try to act like, or think like, be like the true me, who's someone, who I am when the camera's off, when I'm alone and I'm suffering. And that self, runs away when I turn on the camera, because it thinks maybe people can't understand, and they can, but ultimately you gotta start. You gotta start somewhere. So I'm starting now. I try to be that person that I really am. I didn't even try it. It's just instinctive. Instinctively caring, instinctively going out to help people, instinctively just being myself, feeling so much instant empathy, and going to people, and not to, get anything, but because I just thought so, I just felt so, because I thought that's normal. And I should stop trying to explain myself, but just be myself, so that people like me can find myself. I'm done with trying to be someone else when I'm in public, because that just makes me a person who can never find the resonance I want. And I am like myself when I'm with people one-to-one, or, with people, that aren't a lot in number, that I've grown to be a little closer in. But, I just can't believe that the world didn't have one good person that I could really trust. I can't believe that the world didn't have one person who didn't have unconditional love that I tried to give. And I'm so tired. I'm so lost. I'm so frightened. I'm just in too much pain. And I've tried many ways to find my people, but I never found them. I never found them, because they were ultimately people who didn't have it couldn't resonate with me, because they didn't have that emotional space that I have, that kind of empathy. And I've met many people with empathy, but there wasn't empathy. I couldn't resonate. It was fake empathy to me, because it was all lies. It was all lies, because their care was just to be my friend. But my care is not to be their friend. My care is because I just care. I feel care. I feel empathy, but they choose empathy. And as that is not so bad, I feel I can never be their friend. I can never really trust them. And wherever I go, I'm myself, but I can never find someone who can understand me. So, I'm just very alone and very hurt. And is there anything much to say about this? It's complicated, but to explain it would be one of the hardest things to do. But what is it? Well, my difference is that I love from the heart and not from anything else. And I think that any love that's not from the heart is something that's a betrayal, a disgusting thing, something that's dirty, that you need to run away from. And, so I ran away, and other people don't. They love ego, they love strength, they love loving other people for, superficial reasons. And yes, it's not like I'm not looking, for, it's not like I'm a person that never looks at looks of, I'm a person who does, kind of want to have someone who doesn't look so bad as a partner, in my opinion. Of course it's okay, as a person who isn't fitting society's image of a, someone who's privileged in the looks. But what I'm saying is, that's not a part of what I say as superficial. When I say superficial, it's things that are like popularity, like money, like skill, all these things. And the reason why I don't like this is not because I don't. It's not just simple. It's not like it came from nowhere. It comes from me wanting real connection. It comes from me wanting real love. It comes from me believing that humans should just. It's not just a belief. It's a felt inner self, and I have a different inner self compared to other people, I think. And, I try to find friends, mentors, women that are like this, just have a inner self like I do. My inner self, it's very soft, it's weak, it's loving, and it has no conditions on its care, love to people and the world even. But when people, even activists and these people who I thought were supposed to care like I do, even if they didn't like me, I thought that they should have that inner heart, I guess, that I had. But it turns out they didn't, because they didn't really have that love. I tested them. They didn't have that kind of warmth and that I had. And it's hard to live like this. It's hard to live like this. But the best thing I can do is be myself in front of the world, for the one person in the world to find me and say, yes, maybe I'm like you. Because even when my life is, even compared to very tragic lives, my life, I think it's tragic because I have a side of emotion that other people don't. And when that happens, is that you feel everything and other people don't get you. However you try to tell, explain, they just walk away. Or no, it's not like they all walk away. A lot of people come to me to actually, get consolence, get support, and they never give it back. And I'm not here trying to be that person where I want to exchange like kind of support or anything. I hate that. I really hate those people in America. These people who think care is an identity. It's not. It's a feeling. It should be always a feeling. I mean, sure, it's not like they're bad, but what I hate about the world and them is that, people like me, people with real heart, we have to just, we have to live under their rule, I guess, and they make it seem like that's normal. But so then we're annoyed, we're angry, we're confused, we're hurt, we're frustrated, and there's not people like us, around the world. It's very hard to see. And what can you do? You can just, this is the best I can do here. I tried to do many things. I tried to make music. I tried to, do this, do that, try to even make a good anonymous YouTube channel about this topic, but my heart just said no, because it's so hard to make these YouTube videos. Even these ones that look like they're made from AI. It's actually much harder than you think. You have to put every single clip in. You have to. It's not that it's hard, and people don't get this about me. I'm a really energetic person. Everything comes from the heart, and unconditional, this kind of thing, and as much as I have a lot of power and energy when other people need my help, truly, not just like simple things, but emotional, really, when they need support, or when someone's really hurting on the street or anything like that, I go right away, right? Because that's what I just feel, and I don't think anything. Of course I can have thinking to stop it, but it's completely different from most people where they think before they act, right? They think before they act. But for me, I have to think to stop my heart, and as much as I want to believe that other people are like me and I'm too sensitive and weird and delusional to not accept their love or whatever, I can't stop deluding myself that I'm deluded, because it's not true. I've gone everywhere. I try to work with many, of these volunteer groups. I just try to find resonance and love anywhere. I'm literally telling you, everywhere, within, people that I work with, people that I've, my parents, my family, my extended family. I try to find it anywhere. My friends, my past, schoolmates, I try to find it anywhere, but it wasn't ever. There are teachers, and it just goes to show that no one really has unconditional love like I do. And you might say, but isn't unconditional love just loving everything, anything, just always? But no, it's not. That's just being a fool, I guess, or that's not what I mean by unconditional love. What I mean by unconditional love is something where you love things, you love people, you love animals, you love even bugs, in a way where you don't really have affection for them, because that's not, I think, love. That's just affection, attraction, that's not a virtuous thing. That's just what you feel. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not virtuous. But what I mean by my type of unconditional love is that you care, you care, even if you don't want to, you care. And it's like you're sensitive, highly sensitive around that. And, you try to be open, you try to give, you try to even be closed off sometimes because you hurt so much trying to be yourself. So you try to act like someone else, but it doesn't work because it's just an orientation you have that you can't change. And you go around the world and you see these people acting similar to you, but never feeling what you feel at all. This kind of real loving energy or caring energy. Then you get mad because everyone's having a party without no felt care, and this just doesn't extend to, one or two things, but it extends to everything, every place, and every group, and every school, every workplace, every society. It's not like one country has real love and the other countries just don't, I don't think so. Every country you go, it's the same, and I was a bright kid that thought maybe one place there would be a kind of place with this kind of real care, but they don't, they don't. And I either end my life, or I either find someone who truly is the same pain as I am because they've loved as much as I did. And you might say I'm dramatic, I'm too emotional, why don't you, have boundaries? But those people don't understand that someone could have real felt love. They don't, but I do. And you just got to respect me for that. They just got to understand that someone could have love that they don't have. But they don't. They say, why are you so, this and that, and from the start I was lonely. From the start I was very lost. From the start I tried to hug friends. I tried to show people love. I tried to show people, that I like them. But ultimately, people had boundaries. People had lines. People had strict criteria. People just didn't have this love inside. Even my parents that would tell me that they love me, I know that they don't in the way that I do. It's affection, it's attraction. And yes, sometimes I'm attracted to people. It's not like I'm someone without any, like attraction in that way, But also, I'm never going to accept love that doesn't have this inside them, I'm never going to accept it because I know that it's going to be me just trying to show and them just being cold and saying that they don't understand what I'm doing, and it just goes to show how all the love in the world is just a bunch of show, I guess, of attraction and affection. But to me, that kind of doesn't make any sense. It's like it should be about this kind of unconditional love and care, but it's not. And I had dreams of saving the world. I had dreams of saving everyone. I had dreams of forgiving the people that hurt me. But in the end of the day, I think no, I've heard enough. I try to give to everyone, but they didn't accept it. And then they say, "Why am I so cold?" They say, "Why don't I just live my life, earn money, go to school, do everything because you're so smart and you're talented and blah blah blah." I hate that shit. I really do. With all my heart, I hate that because that's not what matters. That's not what matters. And truly, from my inner heart and love, I hate that. I really do, for so many reasons. Why can't we just get love and give love? Why can't we just live normally? Why can't we just, share when it's needed? And why can't, and many people say this, but it's coming from a different place, It's not coming from the place that my heart is, coming from. And, those who get it will get it, Those who get it might even, understand what I'm saying from the first few sentences I said in this video, because that's how kind of rare and special this type of love is. And, we just can't get married to people that we will never feel any love from. We can't go to school and go to do this and that because we know it's not important. We can't go and love or save the world because they don't understand the love we try to give them. And we will get hurt and hurt and hurt over and over again. And we can't stay with our parents. We can't get any friends. We can't do anything. Why? Because we want to truly give. And truly giving doesn't mean giving to everyone without any, by being a slave, Our love needs to get married back as well. And it's not at all about matching the efforts, which is what other people think is, proper kind of relationships. But what I'm saying is that you need to, love, and for that to not be reciprocated, not be seen at all. I'm fine with people who need my help, consolence, need my attention, or, resources. I'm fine with giving what I have. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with them not being able to give anything back, ever, But for them to just be cold, to be distant, to just not get it, it's so frustrating. They don't have that inner world and inner emotional felt kind of worry or resonance or love that I do. And they just are like, flies that get attracted to things and they fly away. They get attracted to this and they're like nice to it. And it's not like I don't have that part of me, but also I have something else, which is a bigger part of myself. And people just don't have that and I can't trust them. And, I live a very lonely life. And you might say to just not stop being that yourself and just, don't feel anything, don't think anything, just go out and don't care about anyone and just live for yourself. But that would mean that I would have to kill my soul. I wouldn't be a person anymore. I would just be a robot. And I would rather kill myself than do that, But also, I know that I have a choice to not do that. And that's what I've been doing for the past 5 years. For the past 5 years, I've been doing that. But I've tried many ways, but it didn't work. So now I'm spreading my message. And, maybe 10, 20 people see this. But ultimately, if I keep going on about this, keep trying to exactly kind of, find what I'm trying to say, even if it's not, perfectly done the first day or the second or the third, if I keep speaking, I will know more about myself. I'll know more about what I'm trying to find and what I am. And through keep speaking itself, I will find people like me, and everything will get better, I suppose. It's a hard life for people like us, and